can't believe Klay Thompson is leaving the Warriors. It may be a Photoshop, but this is about to happen. I cannot believe this. I made a video a few weeks ago talking about the Klay Thompson drama, and I thought, he can't leave. Like, there's no way. It didn't seem like it was going to happen to me. Like, I understand all the, circumstances that were surrounding the situation makes people believe he was leaving, which he did. But it was just like Klay Thompson and the Warriors. Like, I just could not see him leaving. This is like crazy, shocking. I never thought I'd see the day where Klay Thompson is not on the Warriors. And sure, you could say that about a lot of players who are with the team for so long and then they move places and it just happens all the time. But Klay Thompson wasn't just part of the Warriors for so many years. They were a dynasty. They won 4 rings together. Like, Steph, Klay, and Draymond, like, they are the Warriors. So, like, I don't know. This is crazy. What's also kind of crazy to me is Klay technically left for less money because before the season started, or when the season did start, whatever, they offered Klay the Warriors 2 for $48. He's getting 3 years, $50, which is less than obviously 2 for $48, but it was reported that he really wanted that 3rd year, which with this new CBA, I understand, like Paul George, wanted the 4-year max. The 3 years wasn't enough because with this new CBA, teams cannot, there's financial stipulations everywhere, whatever. We'll talk about that another time. But because of that, I feel like all these players who are in free agency, like a Klay Thompson, a Paul George, were pushing for the extra year just to make sure, they have their money. And I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong because, at the end of the day, this is their livelihood. Like, they play basketball and they make millions of dollars, but at the end of the day, your job, part of your job is to get the best contract for yourself. And it's only going to get harder from here, especially with Klay Thompson and Paul George being 37, 38, 39 when their contracts are up. The likelihood of them getting another contract like that is slim to none because LeBron is pretty much the only 40-year-old playing at this level. So securing the extra year, I understand again from Klay Thompson and Paul George's perspective because they will be probably not getting that contract again. So I understand that. But at the same time, he still did take less money. I don't know if part of the reason is because he would probably be coming off the bench, which he may not like, and that's fair. He has, earned the right to be like, I am Klay Thompson. But at the same time, he actually ended up thriving in that role. Plus the fact that Klay came off 2 major, if not the worst, injuries you can get in basketball back to back. So like the level that he's playing at coming off those 2 injuries, we have to give him credit. Like, he worked hard. I do think it obviously makes sense for the Warriors to send him to a team that he at least was interested in because Klay Thompson is part of the dynasty. And do they have to do that? Do they have to send him to a place that he would desire and stuff like that? They don't have to do that technically. But, when someone brings your franchise 4 championships, he's part of that, they obviously are going to try to accommodate him the best they can. And if I'm being honest, and I had this conversation earlier today with somebody, if these new CBA rules were not in place, I think they might have given Klay Thompson the 3 years. With Paul George, same thing with the Clippers. If this new CBA wasn't there, I think they would have gave him 4 years. But because of these financial stipulations, because of this new CBA, I feel like teams are being a lot more cautious. And so they're basically subtracting as many years as they can from the deals because they don't know what kind of price they're going to have to pay in a few years from now. So I understand both sides. I understand Klay. I mean, I don't know. But basically what I would assume he's kind of feeling like is everything I've done for this franchise, I am part of what made the Warriors relevant again. I was the best 2-way player, if not one of the best 2-way players in the league for all that time. Everything that, he has done. He's like, can I just get the 3rd year? Like, I'm not asking you to give me a 5-year supermax, which he obviously couldn't get anyway. He's not eligible. But I'm just saying, like, his thought process in my mind is like, I'm not asking for that, but I would like the security for everything I've done for this team. and, you know, all that stuff. And then from the Warriors' perspective, their thought process, again, this is me thinking, is they're basically like, we respect you, we appreciate you so much, and obviously we know how important you have been to this franchise. But at the same time, we can only give you 2 years, $48 million, whatever they offered, you know, prior to, because we don't know what we're going to have to do in a couple of years. We have these young guys coming up. Kuminga has, you know, started to ascend. We may have to pay him a ton of money, and it's already hard enough with these new financial rules, and we don't know who we're going to have to pay in the next few years. Another thing is, and I don't know what happened, but maybe when free agency started, or prior to that, maybe they didn't offer him that contract again, or maybe they offered him less. And maybe he was like, again, I don't know if this is true, I'm just saying this could be something that happened that we don't know. And he's like, well, if you're going to offer me less than you offered me before, I'm definitely leaving. So there was probably a lot that happened behind closed doors that we don't know and we will never know. But man, Klay Thompson is on the Dallas Mavericks. This is crazy. And I spent 6-7 minutes just talking about how crazy it is. And I didn't even evaluate the moves for the Warriors or the Dallas Mavericks, which I will do right now. But it was just so shocking to me. So let's talk about this from Dallas's perspective. I think they're clearly trying to make sure that Luka does not leave. They're trying to go all in with Luka. Even though he is, you know, 25 and he has time, they want to surround him as fast as they can with the best possible team, because a player like Luka's talent doesn't come around every day. And if the team is building too slow, even if they're doing it correctly, so to speak, Luka may get impatient. I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying, like, you know, players could get impatient because they think that their time is being wasted. And so, are they rushing a little bit? Not necessarily, because Luka is, you know, ready in the sense of like his skill set, but you could say maybe they're rushing a little bit because they want to make sure that Luka is happy. I think in terms of fit, I mean, who's better than to kick it out to Klay Thompson in the corner for a wide open three? Nobody really. So I think that's going to be super nice because Luka will find you anywhere, anytime. You'll have plenty of wide open shots. So I think that's great for Klay. I think the style of play, though, that they play may not be the best for Klay. Because you have to remember, Luka plays pretty slow. And while, again, Luka will find you anywhere, anytime, so I don't doubt that Klay will get his shots, I am a little concerned that playing super slow, and maybe they'll change this next year with Klay being there. Maybe Luka from the NBA Finals, he learned, gotta play faster. So, barring them changing their style of play, Klay Thompson thrives on fast, fast tempo, catch and shoot, fast break, all that stuff. I think losing Derrick Jones Jr. was huge, which went under the radar. And at first I didn't even see he signed anywhere else. I missed that news until I saw it like an hour ago. So I think losing him was huge. I think they're going more offense than defense now again, which was something that people criticized them for last year. So I feel like they're kind of going in that direction again, but they obviously still have Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, so they bring some defense. I think when you have the opportunity to get the second greatest shooter ever, you do it. So, I don't think they were wrong in doing this deal. I don't know if it gets them a championship next year, though. And I love Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson has been one of my favorite players in his whole career. And then just quickly on the Warriors, they get an incomplete for their grade because they got the trade exception, which I think they're going to obviously use that to get another player. They're trying to get Lauri Markkanen, maybe Brandon Ingram. They're going to trade for somebody, but that's why they didn't want to take any salary back, so they could make a different move, because Dallas and Charlotte didn't really have anybody for them to take back that they wanted. This is still crazy, though.